This is Xingguo and Aaron, and we were all charged this quarter not with doing some sort of external model or external map, but rather creating a tangible product to hand over to our partner organization. So it's been a really exciting quarter for us, and to add to that, it's been really exciting for me personally because I spent 3 months in Cape Town 2 years ago during my study abroad quarter, working directly with Seed. So this has kind of been a full circle process for me, and it's been really a fun experience. So just to give you a roadmap of our presentation, we're just going to do a little project overview, talk about some background and context, and then Aaron's going to take over with the project goals and our analysis questions, and then Xingguo, our mapping extraordinaire, is going to talk about methods and results, and then Aaron's going to talk about kind of future directions and the remaining questions. So Seed is a nonprofit organization that's been in the greater Eastern Cape area of South Africa for over 12 years. And in the last few years, they've kind of created a hub for themselves in Mitchell's Plain in Cape Town, which is a very urban context. Mitchell's Plain is one of the many townships in Cape Town. It's historically colored. A lot of undertones of apartheid are still going on in this area. A lot of infrastructural issues and a lack of adequate access to nutritious and safe foods. So Seed, this organization, has kind of come into this area, started its office at the Rocklands Urban Abundance Center, which I'll show on a map in a little bit, with the main goal of kind of generating a community of sustainable agriculturalists in an urban context. And they did that through a variety of programs, a lot of school-based education and eco-literacy type programs, but specifically a year ago they started the Food Freedom Project, and their goal with this project is to generate a network of over 100 home gardeners in the Mitchell's Plain area, and they're up to around 70 to 80, and we've had access to a little under 40 of those members in this network. And so it's really exciting. There's a lot of work being done in this organization and in the community to generate these connections between and among community members to generate some sort of social resilience around urban agriculture. But Seed lacks a lot of the manpower and skills and tools to kind of analyze what actually is going on in this network. And something that they wanted going into this quarter from us was a way to kind of spatially analyze how this network, how this Food Freedom Project really is working in the greater Mitchell's Plain area. And so that's where we kind of stepped in with our asset mapping project over the course of the quarter. So there are going to be a lot of maps that go up here, and Xingguo will be talking about them in greater detail, but over the course of the quarter, we went through a lot of iterations of what we wanted to be our final product, and we ended up talking about sort of like internet-based or something that's actually a printout, and a lot of conversations were had between us and Seed regarding the primary users of this map. We had to remember that we were in this township setting where a lot of people didn't have access to internet or didn't have computers, and so we kind of settled on having a printable map, which I think a couple are going to be passed around, in addition to having an analysis component. We also have been using Google Maps, which is a free resource. So again, given the context, the urban context that we were working in, we felt that using Google would be a really accessible way to get the information across that we needed. To give a little bit more background, taking a step back, we are going to be showing a lot of maps, so I want to make sure that you guys all know what we're talking about. So we're in South Africa, specifically Cape Town, and to zoom in a little further, we're in Mitchell's Plain, which is one of the townships right on the coast of Cape Town. And Seed is located in Rocklands, which is one of the subsections within Mitchell's Plain, and it's at the Rocklands Urban Abundance Center, which is located at the Rocklands Primary School in Mitchell's Plain. And SEED has, these are pictures that I took while I was there, a variety of demonstration gardens, permaculture facilities, a seed garden, as well as an outdoor classroom, compost facilities. So they have a lot of different things going on. And it was really great for us at Stanford to be able to step in and help kind of, from this outside perspective, provide a tool for them to analyze spatially what's going on within their food freedom project.
Okay, so I'm going to briefly go over our project goals, what we started with and how that became our deliverables, and what types of analysis we ended up actually doing on our maps. So the question that we were given when we started our project was, how do broader community assets feed in and support the work of SEED? That was what we started with. And just to reiterate part of the mission statement from SEED, they aim to transform the whole neighborhood towards resilience through demonstration and education. So this placed us in kind of a map puzzle situation. How do we get neighborhood resilience and connect that with geospatial data and membership data that we collected from SEED and show the strengths that they have in possibly situations that they could improve? What does this look like as far as our deliverables go? So we first wanted to give SEED a printout visual map of their current status, and those are circulating. We're hoping that they put those up on their walls in their offices. They can hand them out and have membership contact information on the back of them, so they can hand them out to people as they join or if they come in for more information and contacts. We're also building an asset map, and that is going to be a livable map, a document that we hand over to them. They'll have full control over it when we're done with this project. And they can continue adding information about their members that are already on the map or new members that join, and they can continue working with it and analyzing what's going on. And then as far as our analysis goes, we were looking at that community resilience. There are a lot of different ways this could have gone. We talked about transportation, we talked about household numbers and what vegetables people are growing in their backyards. There is just like a million different opportunities with the data that we have. But after talking with Mickey and thinking about what we're really interested in, he got excited about talking about specialized skills and knowledge that is already existing within neighborhoods of members. So people might be really good with compost situations, or people might be good working with woodworking skills that they might have, and they can tell people that they can teach them how to do that and share their skills. So we'll show you how we went about analyzing that within the other data that we have. So moving forward, we've said we're going to hand this over to SEED. So we've created instructions for them, and we're hoping that they can continue building upon the map that we already have given them, and work on their own analysis as they gain more information of their area. So it's really going to be a powerful tool for them as they continue searching for how to improve their neighborhood resilience. So.
Cool. So heading over the methods we're using toward our goal. So basically, as we mentioned before, because we're working with NGO, so we're briefly divide our work into two parts. One is here, we just work with software on campus and hand out all those deliverables to them, and those part of work are done, so they do not have to worry about the access to those software. And then we create Google services which are free and online, and we also provide a very special program for them to conduct with their survey form, which they can fill in the future, and provide them with interactive map and also a filter map, which is more powerful, and we will discuss that in detail later. And so this is a brief progress, like how we come up with our deliverables. So here I'm only going to talk about our program more in detail, because this is a specialty actually we're coding for them. So let me first briefly explain to you what does it mean by geocoding. So geocoding is just a process of you translate a physical address like Y2E2 Stanford that to a geo coordinate, like the latitude and longitude for population. So in our program, the input from the user will just be the address over here, and then it will come up with coordinate for those addresses. And we also attach a tag here, and it will tell you if those two things are exactly matched or they were just partial match. So if it is just partial match, it indicates that you may have something wrong with your address, and then you have to check if you have the right spelling and also right street name things. So the reason why we come up with these rather than like using some kind of geocoding service from Google directly is that we just discovered like some member just mistyping their address. So if you can imagine if you only take whatever you have, then you may never locate the right place. So we'll kind of provide this program as a pre-screening to ensure that they have the right address for their member. And then here comes up with our results. So we have a really cool survey form that basically based on what they have in their paper version of form. So in the future, they can only fill out those things and everything will come up for them. And then we have an interactive map. Like once you enter the information into the form, a new dot of this member will show up on this map. And then those are dots we already have for our member, and you can click on any dots and there will show up some basic information and contact things about this member. And this is open to the general public, whoever have the link, and we think like Seed could spread this link to their members so they have a very brief access to what they have in the neighborhood. But we also have a stronger version of filter map, which would be open to the administrator, like the staff in Seed, and they would have a really cool drop-down menu for filter, and you can like add the condition you want to see from your member. Like if you are searching for a man in your organization who has previous experience on home gardening, then you just click on those conditions, and then 3 dots will show up who are those things that match with this condition. And if you click on any of them, the detailed information will show up. And then we also come up with physical map, like we discussed before. There were 2 versions of the entire area map, which could be like the larger could be hang on at the wall, and the smaller could be hand out to members. And we also come up with some detailed maps around different subsections, because you can see like in the entire map, some dots are overlap with each other, but in this detailed part, you can see clearly like what are their relationship. And based on the data we have, we do some spatial analysis. The first is we were kind of concerned about if neighbors could help each other with the experience they have. So we were just creating a distance of 1,000 meters and see if like each neighbors who does not have previous experience in urban agriculture is just right located within 1,000 meters of the neighbors who have experience. And you can see like most members here with green dots, they are lucky they have neighbors who were close to them and they can walk to their house and ask about the questions. But like there were still several unlucky guys who doesn't have anyone live close enough to them that they have access to ask questions about. So probably the organization could pay more attention to those members who live far from other people and then consider about their education requirement. And we also do spatial analysis on the resource distribution we have in the neighborhood. We have counted the materials the neighbors have in their home garden and also the skills and hobbies they have, and then we'll create these dots where the smallest dots refer to the people who doesn't have any material and also don't have any like skills, but like those large dots are the people who have the materials and skills and could help other people. So if Seed is concerning about like if they wanted neighbors to teach each other, they can refer to this analysis and see like who could they refer to ask them to spread their materials and skills out. Then I hand it over to Erin to talk about the questions remaining for us.
So if we had more time, we're looking forward to getting more data on these maps. And Annie said earlier, we have a little under 40 members that are shown on our maps and that we did the analysis with. But we know that Seed has a lot more information in their offices. They have about 100 or more members right now, and they're still growing, and they have membership data from those people. So we want to see this grow, and we want to see them continue to use it. We're hoping that they get excited about looking at different ways to analyze their work, possibly looking at transportation lines or diversity of crops in the neighborhoods and just all of those other options. And then also to get firsthand knowledge added to this analysis, we looked at membership data that they gave us, that they have, but we're really looking forward to them adding informal marketplaces or cafes where they tend to go and share their thoughts about urban agriculture. And the people that work at SEED and the people that live in the area really have that firsthand knowledge that they can add a lot of depth to this project. So, ready for questions?
Yeah.
What are the things that you really hope that this sort of this analysis with the spatial stuff that comes out of it, like what do you think is most advantageous based upon your work that you think really behooves the future of urban agriculture and stuff in Cape Town? Like which of the aspects that you realize are most exciting to you?
Well, I think that the beauty of the network that SEED is trying to create is that it's kind of self-contained and self-thriving, and that like there is this like notion of sharing of knowledge that's all going on. But I think that the capacity for the current setup to kind of generate that is really stifled by the lack of knowledge of where all these skills are. And so I think that by creating a spatial representation of where skills or like knowledgeable neighbors aren't kind of overlapping, as Xingguo showed, can really help inform SEED to like maybe pass out more pamphlets. One of the questions on the survey was how did the members find out about the program, and so that's valuable because a lot of them either heard from friends or from like handouts, and so maybe SEED could hand out in these areas of Mitchell's Plain where there isn't a lot of overlap. So future growth of SEED in this network, and then also just for members themselves, knowing where those resources are is pretty valuable.
Are these urban gardeners just growing for fun and to supplement their own nutrition, or are they sometimes selling at markets? Because I know that there are programs in like East Palo Alto where farmers will sort of pool all the tomatoes they grow and sell them at farmers markets. So is there any kind of cooperative model being applied?
Like basically according to the survey we have got, like most of them were just grow vegetables for eating for themselves. So like very few, like several of them tell that they will sell vegetables for, but most people still like spend money on vegetables. So they were more of growing for self sufficiency and also like probably provide some more variety of the kind.
There were also a lot of people that said they shared a lot of their excess with their neighbors. Sharing was a big thing that they listed on their membership form.
Is there, I don't know how much data really is available from a biophysical perspective there, but is there information that they have access to that are maps of water lines, transportation routes you mentioned, open spaces, things like that? And is there a way to access that so you can begin to match where people are growing versus where there's special opportunities to grow?
I think that just off the top of my head, a lot of Mitchell's Plain is very informal, and so you
Yeah,
more to like
satellite
mapping.
data,
So, but yeah, so that is definitely someplace we would want to look a little bit more into. But
They might not have the infrastructure all mapped out. and
right,
everything.
not to my
We
knowledge.
ran into some issues with that as
Yeah.
well, especially in the Rocklands area of Cape Town. It was not the best mapped area as far as Google Maps goes.
Sometimes people don't want the maps to be, things to be mapped. They don't want everybody to know where to find resources, so it's interesting.
It seems to me like this is a really great tool for SEED to accomplish work through just connecting its members and networking. And does SEED already do a lot of, have programs that are aimed at kind of networking and maximizing shared resources, or is this something that they're just starting to look into?
Actually, like according to our like Skype meeting, they've mentioned some sort of those connecting work. Like they were trying to like refer to people who were really known to be experienced and like probably perform as farmers for like tens of years, and they were trying to like ask those people to grow more vegetables in their home gardener, and like they can connect his neighbors to like buy more from him. So it's just kind of like ask the people to do what they were best at. So they were kind of connecting the experienced people to grow more for the community and ask others to like purchase those things from him.
Yeah, and they do have, within the Food Freedom Project, they have like a monthly workshop series, and so a lot of times attendance isn't the best, but whenever there are people that come together during those workshops at Seed, they do try to introduce connections among people who have expressed interest, but a lot of word of mouth.
Great.
Thank you.